My fiancé, Daryl Gonzalez, the man I had loved for 8 years, decided to cancel our wedding and announce his intention to get engaged to my sister instead. His reasoning? In 20 days, my sister was set to marry Seth Charlie, the son of the richest man, who had been her betrothed since childhood. But Seth was a homosexual and Daryl feared she would become a widow shortly after their wedding. Daryl claimed his plan was noble, saying he would sort things out after their engagement, as if he had forgotten the 8 years I had devoted to him. When I asked him what I was supposed to do, he replied casually, 8 years have passed, Sylvia. What's another 2? Our relationship is so stable, so don't worry about this little thing. Besides, Ashley wasn't raised with love like you were. I can't just abandon her. Mom, I won't marry Daryl anymore. He wants to marry Ashley. My mother jumped up from the sofa and the phone on which she was watching a short video fell to the ground. Girl, are you sure? Of course, I knew why my mother was so excited. For Daryl, whom I had been in love with for 8 years, I ignored the young men introduced to me by my family, decided to focus all my attention on him. At first, I thought my mother would complain about me and blame me, but she just hugged me. Fine then, just don't marry him. Marriage is for the rest of your life, so you should think about it carefully. But then my mother continued in confusion, but we have to think about how to give them an explanation for Ashley's marriage to the Charlie family. I directly said, Mom, I will marry Seth for Ashley then. After hearing my answer, my mother was really anxious. Are you kidding me? Although the Charlie family is rich, Seth is not interested in women and is a homosexual. Why are you jumping into the fire pit? She asked angrily. So, I explained calmly, that's fine for me. If he really is gay, it means he won't touch me. So, after we get married, I'll just take his money and we'll do our own things. I had already thought about it. Sexual orientation was not a pit of fire, but bad character was. Daryl and I had been in love for 8 years. I stood by him as he transformed from a penniless dreamer to the young president of a thriving, listed company. He once promised to work tirelessly so he could make me the happiest girl in the world. 8 years ago, after graduating with his master's degree, he told me he would meet my parents once he secured a top-tier job. 6 years ago, when he was promoted to director, he said his success would soon give me the life I deserved. 4 years ago, when his company went public, he assured me he just needed a little more time to stabilize everything before we could have the grand wedding I had always dreamed of. Year after year passed. Finally, when I was nearing the age of advanced pregnancy, he proposed. I cried tears of joy, thinking our long journey together had finally reached its happy ending. But when he announced his engagement to my sister, Ashley, I realized the bitter truth. I had spent my youth, my dreams, and my love helping someone else build their life, only to be cast aside in the end. In the end, my mother could not persuade me anymore and finally agreed to my decision to marry Seth. What was more, the Charlie family did not pursue the matter at all. As I was going to the company to resign, I met Daryl and Ashley at the door. Ashley was the daughter of my father's deceased comrade in arms and was fostered in my home when she was 6 years old. A year ago, Ashley returned to Canada to fulfill her engagement with Seth. As a result, she always followed me everywhere and there was often a third person on my dates with Daryl. At first, Daryl complained, it is so annoying. But some of their behaviors became more and more ambiguous, so I tactfully reminded Daryl to pay attention to the sense of boundaries. Ashley's eyes suddenly turned red, as if she had suffered a great injustice. Sylvia, I'm sorry. I'm used to being abroad and I didn't pay attention to the situation for a while. Don't be angry. Daryl's face immediately darkened. Sylvia, when did you become so petty? You're jealous of your own sister? It's totally unreasonable. I watched him wipe away the tears from Ashley's face with heartache and was so stunned that I could not say a word. As a result, some female employees of the company gathered together and talked about it. Isn't Sylvia Mr. Gonzalez's fiancé? How could Mr. Gonzalez bear to embarrass her in public? So what if he has a fiancé? Mr. Gonzalez is so outstanding, any kind of woman will want it. Sylvia, why don't you look in the mirror? She's almost 30 years old. Why is she still pretending to be a proud princess?